Right now, as we inch closer to the start of the school year, a nonprofit is helping students get ready for college with self-defense classes. And a person is in the hospital after being stabbed by a teenager in Janesville, all that we know so far. And Madison's Vitan's Golfland celebrates its 70th anniversary. We bring you to the sights and sounds of this milestone. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 5:30. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. A teen in Janesville is arrested after a stabbing Saturday evening. The Janesville Police Department were dispatched to 21 Dodge Street in response to an armed person with a knife. While officers were responding, dispatch advised there was a man who was stabbed. The suspect was reportedly still on the scene. Officers arrived at the scene and observed the suspect run south on River Street and took him into custody. An 18-year-old teen was arrested and faces charges of reckless injury and disorderly conduct while armed. The teen will be held in the Rock County Jail. The Young Republican Federation has chosen Milwaukee as its host city for the 2027 Young Republicans National Convention. The convention is expected to draw more than 1,200 young Republicans to Milwaukee in August of 2027. Cal Schrader, the chairman of the Wisconsin Young Republicans, said in a statement, once again, Wisconsin will be the national spotlight as young Republicans from across the country gather in Milwaukee to organize, energize, and help elect Republicans up and down the ballot. Now to northern Wisconsin, where the Department of Health Services confirms the first measles case in Wisconsin this year. Oconto County Public Health confirmed 9 cases. Oconto is near Green Bay. DHS says the exposure came from traveling outside of the state. Right now, the overall risk to the public is low. Measles symptoms are runny nose, being tired, red eyes, and more. We have a full list of symptoms right now on our website. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, it's been a pretty pleasant day today.
It has been, and really these last couple of days, temperature-wise and dew point-wise, it has been very, very comfortable outside. However, much like what we've been seeing over the last couple of days, that haze is still around. We're at 77 in Madison. We're taking a live look on our Edgewater sky cam towards Lake Mendota. Again, those dew points were once much drier in the upper 40s to low 50s. We've started to add back a little bit more moisture into the atmosphere, so our dew points are now more into those upper 50s to low 60s. But we're still continuing to sit underneath unhealthy air, mainly hugging the Lake Michigan shoreline, to unhealthy for some in the orange. Everybody else in the yellow, slightly better with moderate air quality, but a lot of that thick smoke is still overhead. And what I mean is we're looking for these oranges and these darker reds indicating that thicker smoke in the entirety of the atmosphere, not just close to the surface. So that's indicative of why our warning, our air quality warning, has been extended through now Monday at noon. And again, I would not be surprised if it has been or will be extended through at least noon on Tuesday. We'll track out the smoke as we go into the next couple of days in the full forecast and take a look at what the air quality is expected to be as we kick off next week as well.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. And as always, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warned Weather app. It is hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Right now, students are getting ready to go back to school. UW students return to class in roughly a month. A local nonprofit is helping students get ready for college with self-defense classes. Our Tanasia Shaw has more.
Madison's Sexual Violence Resource Center is helping college students get ready for the upcoming school year.
Be given if one of the people is drunk. You heard that, right?
Natalie Demiorbis is a lead instructor for the center's self-defense class, Chimera.
Chimera is a program of empowerment self-defense that means that we want self-defense to fit into other people's lives and not have people change their lives to be safer.
Chimera is different because it teaches victims how to stick up for themselves in any situation.
Other self-defense classes tend to say, you know, here's what you do. Yeah. But situations are actually infinite. They can be totally different, and there might be, like, if you learn A, B, and C, there might be something that keeps you from doing A. And then you can't, and then you have nowhere to go, right? Whereas if you are freely pulling tools from your toolbox, you can be like, okay, that's not working, I'll try this other thing.
Even though this isn't what you would typically put on your back-to-school checklist, Demiorbis says these skills are essential.
We try to give people a toolbox of as many options as we can so that in a situation they can make their own decisions about how they want to respond.
The RCC is hosting more self-defense classes in August. We have that information on our website right now. Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. Out of respect for the privacy of the class, News 3 Now avoided showing the attendees' faces. Now, children get new outfits ahead of the school year at Tenny Tots and Swap. At Tenny Park near downtown Madison, local parents brought whatever clothing they no longer needed and picked up the clothing that worked for them left by other parents. Organizers from the Tenny Latham Neighborhood Association say it's about helping people who help each other.
I think that everybody wants to save a little bit of money and help the earth and clean out their closets, and this kind of accomplishes all three things.
After everyone had the chance to take what they needed, clothes left over were donated at the end of the day. Vi-10's Golfland celebrates 70 years on Madison's west side. With celebrations came special pricing, with activities like mini golf and a round on the golf course being just $7 to mark 70 years. Founded in 1955, Vi-10's Golfland has grown with the city of Madison for the decades.
Started very, very small out in the middle of the country, and the city sort of grew up around us. You know, we love Madison, and you know, the neighborhood has been here for a long time. It has supported us. But yeah, it's ever changing. I mean, the Beltline looks so much different. I, of course, wasn't around 70 years ago, but we certainly have pictures of what the Beltline looked like, and you know, it was definitely out in the middle of the country.
Organizers say today was a celebration of the community for its support in keeping the business thriving for so many years. Coming up next on News 3 Now, HHS further constrains certain vaccine advisors to the CDC, limiting their input in evidence reviews. Plus, President Trump lashes out at Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer, abruptly ending talks over dozens of pending nominee confirmations.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
Some doctors say you may want to reach for something other than the allergy drug diphenhydramine, which is sold under the brand name Benadryl. In a review published earlier this year, allergy experts from 2 universities say the medication is outdated and dangerous. They also say there are safer alternatives on the market, such as Claritin or Allegra. At the very minimum, the experts say the drug should be moved behind the pharmacy counter. The review notes that Benadryl and other drugs with the same active ingredient can cause sedation, cognitive impairment, and in some cases, dangerous cardiac effects. Another group of outside vaccine advisors for the Centers for Disease Control was abruptly sidelined this week. In an email obtained by media members of roughly 30 medical and public health organizations who serve as the so-called liaison members of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices were told they could no longer participate in the committee's crucial work groups. Liaison members don't vote on the committee's public meetings on vaccine recommendations, but they can participate by asking questions and commenting on presentations. They have also done detailed evidence reviews of the safety and effectiveness of vaccines, which help them to inform groups and their votes. President Trump lashed out late Saturday at the Senate Minority Leader and told Senator Republicans to go home for a month-long recess. CBS News' Willie James Inman has more.
President Trump lashed out at Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer late Saturday, telling him to, quote, go to hell, and abruptly ending talks over dozens of pending nominee confirmations. The president's Truth Social tirade came just hours before lawmakers were expected to strike a deal. Instead, the president told Republicans to, quote, not accept the offer. Republicans hoped to make a deal with Democrats and came close as the two parties and the White House negotiated over moving a large tranche of nominees in exchange for reversing some of the Trump administration's recent cuts to foreign aid, among other cuts. But there was no agreement, prompting the president to attack Schumer and the Senate to head home for a month-long recess.
We were serious about trying to make some progress. But ultimately, Trump wouldn't agree. He took his ball, he went home, leaving Democrats and Republicans alike wondering what the hell happened.
Prior to the face-off between the president and Senator Schumer, the Senate rapidly voted through a number of nominees. Among those given a green light, Jeanine Pirro, who was confirmed 50-45 as the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. In other weekend political news, former special counsel Jack Smith, who investigated President Trump before his re-election, is under investigation. The investigation follows a complaint from Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton, who wrote on X that Smith's investigations of President Trump were politically motivated. Smith led 2 criminal investigations into the president, the classified documents case at Mar-a-Lago, as well as the investigation into Trump's attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Bridgewater, New Jersey.
And coming up next on News 3 Now, Blaze Keller returns with a complete look of your first warn forecast.
We are going to continue to sit underneath hazy conditions. It's been pretty much that way since maybe the middle of last week. The haze from that high pressure system that also brought us the cooler, more comfortable conditions is beginning to move on out of here. This high pressure system, it's been very slow moving. And in fact, we've actually replaced it with yet another high pressure system almost in the exact same spot, slightly to our north. But both have been very strong and both have been very slow moving off to the east. And that's why Monday is still going to be hazy. But starting on Thursday, as this high pressure system begins to exit, southerly winds take on over, the heat and the humidity return, replacing the haze that has been overhead. So if you don't like the heat and humidity, hopefully you've been able to get out and enjoy the day, even though it has been hazy. If you haven't, maybe you try to get out tomorrow. Again, if you have asthma, breathing problems, heart issues, per the National Weather Service, they're advising to limit your time outdoors just so not as much smoke gets into your lungs. But we're looking at a very seasonable day. Upper 70s to low 80s once again on Monday, kicking off the work week on the mostly sunny side, partly to mostly sunny. Air quality on Monday expected to once again be unhealthy for some, for anybody here in the orange. So again, that's going to be folks who have asthma, heart conditions, more susceptible to the poor air. And as we look ahead to the rest of the week, Tuesday is still going to be unhealthy for some, but according to AirNow.gov, and I can kind of see this happening because we're going to be more underneath the southerly flow of wind, our air quality is a little bit better, going to moderate. So we're getting better air as we go into the middle of next week. Once we really get underneath this southerly flow and open up the Gulf, that's when a lot of this smoke is going to move on out of here. I mean, look off to our west. They're seeing more of those lighter blues. That's those less hazy conditions. This high pressure system is still just slowly moving off towards the east. But when southerly winds make their way a little bit more eastward, that's when we start to say goodbye to the smoke, but then we welcome back that humidity. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if the current air alert is extended through Tuesday afternoon. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't. But if we take it in closer to home, obviously throughout Monday, we're expecting that thick smoke to be sticking around. Tuesday, it starts to clear out a little bit. So maybe just on the precautionary side, we see that air quality alert being extended, especially given that eastern parts of Wisconsin will still be underneath at least somewhat smoky conditions as we kick off Tuesday. Once the heat and humidity do return, we'll welcome back some rain chances. Because this high pressure system has been so strong, or these last 2 high pressure systems have been strong, we haven't had a lot of systems move through the area. Our moisture is there and it's slowly returning, but there's nothing to really use the moisture. There's no systems forcing that air through the atmosphere. So as dew points climb, we'll start to not only feel more humid, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more activity here across southern Wisconsin. I think the first half of the upcoming work week is going to be quiet. Maybe we squeeze out a shower Wednesday night into Thursday and then Thursday night into Friday. But it looks like the better chance for rain is going to hold off until the upcoming weekend into the start of next week. And even those chances don't look particularly great. I'm not really enthused about them, honestly, Jalen. They're just kind of a shower here or there. so we'll put a chance for rain, but nothing organized by any means on the horizon.
I mean, the last few days, though, we've been absolutely spoiled.
Yeah?
I mean,
apart from the smoke.
Right.
Yeah.
Apart from the smoke, but I mean, the temperatures.
You can't beat it.
No precip. We've just been. I was at a wedding and a reception yesterday. I basically wore something similar to this. And I had it on the entire time, even though we were outside for.
Not sweating, not uncomfortable?
No.
No, it was great outside yesterday. Low humidity, comfortable temperatures, and now we're going to trade it all for, I know. Tanasia wants it. Me and her, we're going to have to agree to disagree, bestie. I can't stand it.
I'm with you on that one. I'm just curious for those, especially from the Midwest, that love the heat. I don't get it.
Same.
But teach your own.
You know what? I'm on a need-to-know basis, and I don't need to know.
All right. Well, sounds good.
They'll enjoy it.
But speaking of heat, coming up in sports, the Brewers look to remain hot against the Nationals. Let's see if they could complete their series sweep. Coming up next. When Jeff Grimes was hired as Wisconsin football's new offensive coordinator, his first move was to recruit one of the team's best receivers to exit the transfer portal and return to the Badgers. Tretch Kekahuna was tantalizing last season, torching defenders left and right, but he told News 3 Sports this week that he was on his way to commit to another school. But 10 hours before he signed on the dotted line, he got a call from Jeff Grimes, the new OC.
I'm missing something here because I think we really want this guy on our team. And just talking with Vic and KG about it, we decided, we really want him on the team. And I brought him in and sat him down and talked with him for a while about his skill set and things that I've been able to do with players like him in the past.
Kind of find out he knows all my old uncles that he played against because he coached at BYU and they played Hawaii a lot of times. So he gets playmakers the ball, and like how he loved my film, he said I would get more touches and make more plays and be a more kind of contributor to the offense.
UW women's volleyball has been one of the best collegiate programs of any sport in the country in recent years, and Carter Booth has played a big part in that. The multi-time All Big Ten blocker, Booth is entering her senior season, and she understands the landscape of college athletics is changing with the age of player empowerment with both NIL and the transfer portal. However, she's just focused on keeping this program as one of the best in the country.
I think it would be naive to not explore the business side of things. I mean, with my team now, we are a family. There is love for the game and there's love for each other involved. And I think now as we move into this new world and things develop, it is becoming a little bit more of a business, but the focus is always to win, to get better, to play for my team and the people around me. And, if I have to sort of put on different hats, I'm able to do that. But I think one thing that's for sure is I never allow the business side to bleed into what's most important.
And the Brewers looking to stay hot, one of the best records in all of baseball. We head to the top of the second. Brewers up 1-0, and that would quickly change. Bryce Terang will go yard for a 2-run homer. And then we skip to the seventh. Brewers up 8-1, and Brandon Lockridge at the plate, and he was locked in. He'd send the shot straight down center, bringing in 2 runners. Brewers now in the double digits, and still in the seventh. It's going to look like I'm running the same highlight, but I promise I'm not. Turning back at the Terang back at the plate. He goes yard again. Another 2-run homer for what was an absolute day for Terang. Brew Crew win it big. 14-13 is your final. Now that's it for sports. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return. So Blaze, it is, pretty cool out for the time being, but as we head into the work week, what should we expect?
It's going to be coming more humid out there, but less smoky. So we're going to swap one, not necessarily weather extreme, but one thing for another. After another mild night, we should be in the low 60s, and some of us have been even in the upper 40s these last couple of nights. So we'll still remain cool in the low to mid 50s to upper 60s. Mostly clear. Again, there is going to be some haze out there, not only this evening, but into Monday as well. Looking at unhealthy for some air quality, that's orange. In the yellow, tomorrow, that's going to be more moderate, so a little bit better. And we will start to see more blue skies probably Tuesday on, Wednesday onwards. That's when we really start to get more of those southerly winds, and that's going to bring back that humidity, upper 80s to low 90s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And with that added warmth and humidity comes a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. I would say the best chance is probably going to be the second half of next week. Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday, I don't really see a great chance for rain. I think the best chance is probably going to be Saturday, Sunday into Monday of next week.
All right. Definitely looking forward to that. We could always use a little bit of rain here and there.
Yeah, a little bit. Why not?
All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you, ladies. Thank you all for joining us. 60 Minutes is up next. We'll see you back here at 10.